Good morning, everyone. Looks like Janmashtami. Of course, we know from the Namashtakam written by Rupa Goswami, other great acharyas have written poetry and prose about chanting Hare Krishna. And in the verses referred to as Namashtakam, it's a classical form writing 8 verses that describe a certain topic. Rupa Goswami has said, Jayanamadaya Muni Vrindagaya He Janaranjanaya Paramakshara Krite. And Paramakshara Krite means the supreme combination of syllables. And I find this fascinating because we know about formulas and codes. If you have combinations and permutations of numbers that you may look at, certain ones open combinations or are very specific to a formula that has an effect. So in a similar way, Paramakshara Krite, although there's many things that one can say and one can hear, as the Bhagavatam says, there are millions of topics that one can discuss, but they're all combinations and permutations of the 3 modes of material nature. So are there syllables, is there an expression that's beyond the 3 modes of material nature? And Rupa Goswami answers, yes, Paramakshara Krite, this is it. When you repeat the Ma mantra, it's a code, it's a formula, and it rises above all other speech. So there's a conversation with Prabhupada and John Lennon and Yoko Ono, and Prabhupada's explaining how this is the pinnacle of all speech. Yoko Ono asks, so why need we say anything else? Why don't we just say Hare Krishna? Of course, we have our ordinary dealings by which we deal with the world and take care of our bodies and so forth, but ultimately, one who's chanting Hare Krishna has some realization that this is worthwhile. How worthwhile is it? Well, there's details that the sages have gone into, that just by chanting Hare Krishna, then everything else is available to you. All energies are synchronized in one place because you're going to the source. So this is the idea behind taking the effort to repeat the mantra over and over again. It's the supreme combination of syllables. And what's more, it's non-different from Krishna. So it gives us contact with the source. Everything that we've ever looked for or wanted is there within our relationship with Krishna. So we've been given this special instruction that to complete 16 rounds a day, and it's an order that's been passed down, or a guideline that's been passed down over many, many generations, the chanting Hare Krishna and a certain regulation every day as a means to success in spiritual life. So I congratulate everyone. Thank you very much for coming to the Japa Circle, whether you're online or personally here. So shall we try? Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Hare Krishna. Just a quick wrap up. That Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings Sukhe Dukhe Bhulo Nako Varane Harinam Koro Re. And that means that whatever condition you're in, whatever happens to you in the material world, Sukhe Dukhe means if you're in a good space or a bad space, which is inevitable in the material world because it's a world of dualities. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's a way in which always something goes wrong according to what I thought was going to happen. In fact, I can expect it. And people who are friends today become enemies tomorrow, or things you have, then you lose. Vice versa, things come unsought. There's a rocky ride in the material world no matter who one is, what position one has. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives this advice that the way to get through the morass of the material world, which is inevitably going to be fraught with ups and downs, to put the cliche, there's one way to stay steady through the whole experience of the material world, and that's to keep chanting Hare Krishna. One thing, don't stop that. And it goes along in my mind with the verse in the Bhagavatam where it is said, Samashrita, it's Brahma, Samashrita ye padapalava philipam mahat padam punya yasho marare bhavam budirvatsa padam param padam yadvi padam natesham. He says, just learn to take shelter of Krishna, because the material world's going to have potholes. If you're walking along and you think you're the king of the world, and all of a sudden you step in an open hole and jar your whole sense of being the top person, suddenly you're embarrassed by the material world. He says that that's inevitable in the material world, so just take shelter of Krishna. Don't take shelter of any particular condition of the material world, because it's going to change. How did you feel chanting today? Any reflections? Is it too general of a question? Paramaksharakite, yes. You can use the mic. Just turn it on. Then the devotees online can hear too.
Do you hear me?
Yes,
right.
You're loud and clear now.
I actually noticed a distinct difference after my first kirtan, and this one, this was the farthest I've gone in a japa circle. I think I did like almost 4 rotations, and I don't know how to say, I just feel pleasant, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot, going around 4 times. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Haribol. Okay. Yes. Let's pass the mic over, please.
Actually, Hare Krishna, I just had a question. Why is it that sometimes the japa is very peaceful and sometimes we are very distracted? It doesn't seem to be correlated with how the day was before that or anything. Like, even if I'm not in a good mood, sometimes the japa is great. And even if I think I'm in a good mood, when I start doing the japa, it's distracted. So
I think everyone can relate to that. It's the nature of the mind. Mind, Krishna says, is unruly. And that's why we have a regulation to chant no matter how we feel. Sukhe duke bulonako, varane harinam kore, means if you feel good, you feel bad, doesn't matter, just keep on chanting. It's the nature of the mind to be restless and sometimes up and sometimes down. Thanks for noting that. Yes. Here, just take the mic, because then they can hear you online. And next we'll take Divya, Bhakti Divya from Atlanta. Got to turn it on.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hold on. We're just having technical difficulties. Go ahead.
Yeah, even though I'm not very regular in doing multiple rounds, but I have observed whenever I'm on my 4th round, by then I internally feel some sort of happiness, like I feel like smiling, no matter what my mood was before I started. Like around 4th and 5th round, I start feeling very happy.
That's a good sign. Bhakti and Divya? You're up.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, we can hear you.
Yes, yesterday I had gone to a Bhakti Vriksha, and so today when I was chanting, I felt extremely grateful and a lot of joy. It was the opportunity of the association of devotees.
That's good. To have you grateful for the opportunity to chant and for the association of devotees, it's a spiritual emotion. Very good. 2 more. Yeah. Okay. You go ahead and then we'll have Navdeep online.
Hare Krishna. I really appreciate the reminder about the dualities. And I remember reading about that in The Journey Within, amazing book. And it's one of those things like you just have a really great day at work and you're like, I got this in the bag. And then you're driving home and there's traffic and life is like, you don't have this in the bag at all. And we can be having a great day and we're like, I'm just the most successful person. And then the next day we're feeling down. And you're like, why am I such a miserable human being? And it's those dualities, that back and forth. And it's that reminder, as long as we can, keep that in the back of our mind, it creates a little more balance. We don't have to be the extremes. It's, somewhere right in the middle is typically a good place to be.
Yeah. Thanks for reinforcing that experience in the material world. I think we all can relate to it. Navdeep for the close.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. So first time I think I joined some Zoom session to chant, and sometime like when chanting, I get lost in the thoughts here and there, even though I'm chanting. But this time, even just my laptop is in front of me, and I'm trying to chant with my closed eyes. So whenever I open my eyes, I can see the other devotees also chanting. So it helps me to bounce back on the chanting. So that is the realization for me today. So
Thank you.
it was
for
extremely
sharing that. That's
good
an
chanting today.
important
Hare
realization.
Krishna.
Bhakti yoga is a team sport. And it's good to hear what others are feeling because it's helpful for us, I think, to be able to relate. Everyone's going through similar conditions in the material world, and the binding force, the rope that pulls us through it all is the chanting of Hare Krishna. We can keep remembering that. It's a simple thing, but it's the tendency to want to try to go to sleep again in the material world. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu keeps saying, wake up, wake up, wake up. Don't fall for the material world again. You have a chance now. Use this little span of life you have in order to elevate yourself. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Sri Panchatattva, Sri Sri Gaurnitai, Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Sri Lakshmi Nrsingadev, if you so desire, please inspire us to chant Hare Krishna in spite of all the changes that we have to go through here in the material world to our touching the material energy. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpa